All right, I'm back. I don't know what happened. It threw me off, so I'm going to wait for y'all to get back in so you don't miss nothing. Wait for y'all to get back in. It threw me off. I don't have no idea. I believe this is some good teaching here, and we're having some technical issues here, but it threw me off. It threw me off. It threw me off. It threw me off. Let's see if I can get back on here. Yeah. Yeah. Y'all can get back on. It threw me off. I apologize. I don't know what happened. Facebook just threw me off. I don't know. Maybe why I got too hot. I don't know. It just threw me off. So check back in on here now. I'm gonna add this to be part 2 later. I'm gonna fix the caption on it and make it a part 2. But this is why our seeds are so important. Our seeds are so important to us that we must keep up with them. We must keep our children focused on understanding the values of life, understanding the values of our existence. We must keep them to understand that the blood that's in their vein is in our. And again, I'm going to say it again. Ain't no piece of blood over here going to get in, and this piece of blood, he going to go to hell. All of it, you can't separate blood. I've been looking for somebody to separate blood. Water can't even separate blood. It cannot. And it will not. And it shall not. Nothing can separate the blood. So your blood has to make it. It has to make it. It must make it. It must make it. It must. It has no choice. It has to make it. It has to make it. It must make it. It has to come. It must be put into the perspectives and the understanding of life itself, the blood. I'm inviting people back on. I'm sorry. Facebook threw me off. I don't know. I'm going to send a good message out tonight to them and see what's going on with it. I'm inviting a lot of you back on so you can catch back up. Give me a minute here and get you back on. And then y'all share it and let the other people know that we're back on. Tag, share it, do what you do, and get the others back on. And we'll be back up and running here shortly. I'm putting the word out now. All right. I don't know. Facebook threw me off. It just, pow, just shut off. It did that before. And why they did something, they said my channel was hot. That's one thing they told me. My Facebook page stay hot. A lot of people stay on my page. So I don't know. Maybe it's some kind of technique. I don't know. But anyway, back to what I was saying. The blood does not separate. You cannot separate the blood. You can't. You can't separate the blood. This blood here can go to glory, and this blood here go to hell. That's why they are waiting. The Bible said they are waiting around the altar. They are waiting. Nobody can get in judgment until it's done. Excuse me. Here on earth. This is why you can't get in. I can't get in. Your father, my grandmother, none of them can get in there until we all get there. Because we all going to be judged together. You know why? By the blood. So it's so important that we get off our little horses, that we make it in our houses, and our children is going to waste. Our families is going to waste with our very blood in it. We need to teach them all we got and let them know, listen, I need you're gonna have to come on and get right. You're going to have to come on and get right because I'm trying to live right, and you're going to have to live right because it's the only way we're going to get in. And it's going to be a sad day when they get there. You and I done lived all we can, and the other one, because we didn't talk to them and we let them live any kind of way, and they drug us down into hell. You can't separate blood. You can't. You can't separate blood. I'm so sorry to inform you of this, but you can't. Listen to this here. Fifth verse, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. In other words, you hate God when you don't obey him. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. You hate God when you disobey him. How do you hate him? And that's a good question to ask him. I'm going to show you in a few minutes how we hate God. I'm going to show you how we hate him. I don't want to give any assumption of my own. I don't want to give any thoughts of my own. I don't want to challenge you with what I think. I want you to read it for yourself. Exodus 20th chapter, and we down at the 5th verse working. The iniquities of the father is upon the children. You see how we paying for what they done? And some of our fathers in the grave dead. Huh? Day in and day out, we go to church and still we gonna lose our own soul. That's a very strong statement, sis, but it's true. We go in church after church, week after week, hour on the hour, we're in there, but we're gonna lose our own soul. Because we're not paying attention to the strength of family. This is why he said family. This is why he made man, then he turned around and made woman, and then he said y'all gonna have children. Because I need you in a unit. I don't need you as one. I need you in a voke. And a boat. A boat. Meaning a big unit. I need you as a big unit. Because it's going to take all y'all to get the family in. It's going to take the husband. It's going to take the wife. It's going to take the children. All of you going to need to get in. And the good part about it is, if the mother get in trouble, the father can come help and the children come help. If the children get in trouble, the mother and the father can go and get the children out of it. If the father get in trouble, the mother and the children can come. You see how we need each other? You see how it's important for us to operate as a family, as a unit, to stand as a unit? That blood right there, that blood right there. That blood. And then the woman, she's so free and clear until when she get married, she give up herself and become her husband. She become one. She loses her identity and gain his identity. Now, that's some good teaching. A lot of people don't want to talk about that now. We got these women around here now that want to be self-proclaimed, self-made. Then got another woman with them telling them that she Mrs. So-and-so. You can't be a Mrs. to another woman. Melissa asks the question, when is it permissible to give divorce? When infidelity take place or death. That's the only way in the Bible. You married a man that fights you, you better get the fighting back and praying at the same time. Because that's the Bible. The Bible don't say you get out of that. You stuck. You married a man that's doing drugs. You can't get out of that marriage. You married a man that's abusive. You can't get out of that marriage. God wrote this. He's the creation of all. He said, sanctified wife, sanctified husband, sanctify the husband, sanctify the wife. In other words, if you married to this and you want it right, get on your knees and become sincere with God and watch he fix it. A lot of times we talk about we married to these men and women who are abusive and we still stuck with them and all of that crazy stuff. We're still stuck with them and you don't understand that you've been playing church. That's why ain't nothing happening in your home. That's why God ain't moved, because you playing church. When you get real, God will get real. It's hard to come in contact with God and you not feel him when you come home. It's hard. Ladies and gentlemen, it's hard to say you made contact with God and you filled with the Holy Ghost. And I think that's what we done got away from now. We got a form of gospel in the church now. Everybody can dance and sing, and somebody got some kind of tongue then taught them. But are you really filled with the Holy Ghost? It's the question. Because if the Holy Ghost walk into the house, and I don't care how raving a person is, God himself will bring peace unto him. The Bible says when he commit adultery, that's the only way out of it. Do you so? The question, let's just ask the question. I like it. She's asking the question, so do I have to see him having sex? The book says he must be caught in the act. You remember? When she is caught in the act, that's it. He'll say, she say won't do it. So he can be with his woman and let it go until I see him in the act. You already asked that question. So when we dealing with infidelity, I want you to understand infidelity is not all the way just about sex. Infidelity be when he puts or she puts her husband or his wife before her and then love her. Now, I know y'all know about that song. It's two songs I used to listen to. It's hard to love too. Charlie Taylor said, you're messing me around on the other side of town. Charlie Taylor said that. I can go back to so many old school songs with that question there. So you need to see him in the act. How do you see him in the act? Let me tell you, all you got to do is pay attention to the person. All you got to do is pay attention to the person you with. You know they doers. You know where they go. And that's another problem right there. We married people and we don't really know who they are. We just get married because, oh my God, especially in the clergyman household, we marry women's and men because we want them to fit ministry. Don't you know that's the worst thing you can ever do? Take it from me. Please take it from me. We married these people for ministry, and you wonder why your house in hell, because first natural, then spiritual. You cannot be spiritual with this person, then come natural. Oh my God, what have we done as leaders? We married them because we find comfort in the ministry. You make me look good in front of the church. But what happened when you go home? I see you, Bishop Howard. I'm on my way to your course. What happened when you go home and you sad and miserable in the house? Sex is just terrible in the beds. It's like a match on a griddle pad, griddle box. Try sex. Don't y'all play with me. Oh my God, I've been there. Oh my God, I've been there. I put my glasses on because I want to see some of these companies get ready to come across here for sure. I've been there when sex is boring and you just don't even want to be bothered. You don't even want to be touched by that person. Oh my God. You married the wrong woman and you still stuck with her until infidelity take place. Ain't that terrible? Let me get to Bishop Howard real quick. What happens to a mixed family when the same siblings are all from the different seeds? Well, I believe I answered that earlier, Bishop. A man has no business marrying a woman with children. She's supposed to remain a widow woman or a single mother until the last child have left the nest. Now, should he take on that, he needs to know what he's taking on. In other words, don't get to crying later when you sit up there and take on that responsibility. Because when you take that on, you're responsible. You can't get out of that. Men, women, you can't get out of that. You know that thing that said, to death do you part, and the only way out is infidelity. The only way out is infidelity or death. And I sure hope you don't go try to kill yourself, because ain't nothing worth you killing yourself for. You're stuck. You're still stuck. I know this is heavy. You're still stuck. And these are the sins which we are doing now that our children is going to pay for. Our sons who are having children, great-grandchildren, great-grandchildren, great-great-grandchildren, they're going to pay for this. Because of what we are doing now, what our grandfathers and great-grandfathers and great-great-grandfathers and great-great-grandfathers, and keep going on, have done. So Bishop Howard is asking the question, will the family always be pulled against each other? Yeah, it's two different, it's too many bloods in the house. It's too many bloods. That brother and that sister would be made to get along because they're growing up in that household together. Yeah. But they'll never be able to really fully understand each other because they're not blood. And then when incest start happening, because they the same mother, but they have different fathers, and they wind up falling in love and having sex, get a baby together, then the whole family's embarrassed because of what the sins of the mother and the father done. Oh, now this some deep stuff here, y'all. We getting too deep now. We get too deep. But sin has its way of finding its way through the life and the existence of our being. When we live wrong, don't expect for it not to fall upon the children. So, as my sister said, you kill yourself, you're going to hell for killing yourself, and now you're stuck in hell. So either way it go, you're stuck. Let me move on. We was at the 5th verse. How do we hate him? We're getting ready to talk about, and he's showing mercy unto thousands of them that love him and keep his commandment. You want to know how to stay in good standing with God? Get the 10 Commandments out and run with it. Now let's go to 7. And then we're going to stop when we get down there to the 17th verse. And then we're going to get off and get ready for part 2. I apologize to some of y'all that's on here. I don't know. Facebook throwed me off, and I don't know what happened, but we're going to send them a message out tonight so they can fix whatever needs to be fixed when it comes to it. Let's go to the 7th verse. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. In other words, when you try to use him, because sometimes we don't even want to use God. We want to go with him to get what we want and then drop him. Then we go when we need something else. When that ran out, then we come back and we roll with him. And then when he give us what we want, we jack out on him again. I'm sorry. You can't take his name. You can't use his name on something that he did not sign off on. And let me say this to a lot of people on here that's watching. You want to be a multi-millionaire, and you want God to make you a multi-millionaire, but God know your heart. If he gave you $1 million tonight or tomorrow, he know that you are going to do something strange with that money, and he's not going to be accessory to the fact of you doing what you're doing wrong. If he gives some of you some money tonight, you go rub it in somebody's face. Look at you. I told you. I'm blessed. I'm this and that. You'll use that to tear someone down with that tongue. And some of us are taking to go by and pay somebody with one of these gun handlers to go kill somebody with it. God is not going to be used to the accessory of the fact of what you're doing wrong. So you cannot use his name in vain. You can't go lying on God saying God told you to do something and God told you to ask these people for something that he ain't never. Thou shalt not take the Lord thou God name in vain. You cannot use his name against wrongdoing. You can't make up nothing and put his name to it. He only gonna stand by what he say and what he say alone. And what he say is what his father say. He said, I don't come to work of me. I come to work of my father who have sent me. That's another ball game. Can't do it. He said, I'm not gonna hold you guiltless. I'm gonna hold you to it. And you're gonna pay for it. Now, remember the Sabbath day, to keep it holy. Do you not know that you owe God 2 hours and 40 minutes out of a day? That's the tithing of the time. You owe God 2 hours and 40 minutes a day. You owe him that. Hear what I'm saying to you? That's the tithing of your time. That's a lot of reasons why your health messed up. Because you don't tithe your time. Tithing your time meaning you steal away for 2 hours and 40 minutes. That's why he told Adam, meet me at the cool of the day. I want you to talk to me because I want you to tithe your time to me. Tithing your time to me means you're in my presence. You can't keep coming in my presence and I don't hear you. Oh, well, let me move on from there. Let me move away from there because that's another whole chapter right there. That's another whole argument. You can't keep coming for God presence and he not hear you. You can't, it's impossible. But we part-timers. That's why we got part-time healing, part-time delivering, part-time financing, part-time help. 1 minute your blood pressure good, the next minute your blood pressure through the roof. Because you don't tithe to God. You got to tithe to him. You got to tithe to God. You got to tithe. Remember to keep the Sabbath day holy and to keep it holy. How do you do that? You tithe on a day. The Bible say he made the heaven and earth and everything in it within 6 days, and the seventh day he rested. The seventh day he rested. That's why you're sick, because you don't know how to take a day off and go rest. Go rest. And because you're not resting, you're teaching your children they have to work like a dog to get what they got. When you lean not to your own understanding, but lean unto God, and he shall, not unto him that is able to keep you from falling. He will direct your path. He will. But you got to trust him. You got to obey him. 6 days, 9th verse, shalt thou labor and do all thy work. The 6th day. In other words, how many days in a week? 6 days. One of them days is the Sabbath day. Are you keeping it holy? Are you giving it to God? Are you tithing yourself to God so he can heal your body? Go and just take a whole day and just lay in his presence. Bathe in his presence. Don't be bothered with nothing. There ought to be a day you don't have no worration. There ought to be a day that you don't have to worry about nothing. Don't do nothing. Just lay out and enjoy. I tell people all the time in the Eagle Eye Fellowship and the churches that I go and preach in, that God sent me and allowed me to go preach in. If you work 6 days a week or 5 days a week, When you get your paycheck, you ought to go buy you something nice out of each paycheck you get. You ought to take your check and go buy you something nice. It's a sad day for you to work all these days and don't buy yourself nothing. Oh my, y'all ain't gonna talk to me now. I don't see no nothing. I don't know. I don't see nothing. If y'all here, click and say something to me. You ought to be able to buy yourself something. You ought to be able to buy yourself something out of the check you get paid every week or every 2 weeks. And that's after you give God his 10%. Tithe and offering. Tithe is the 10% that you owe God. Your offering is your choice. Don't let nobody pimp you out of your money. And with these churches closing, you ain't got no business. Oh my God, let me just go and get off to that. You ain't got no business cash app in your money, no church. You see how we doing things different? Because, this is the new century. This is the new way of doing things. God don't change. He said, I do not change not. I'm the same today, tomorrow, and forevermore. He left in scripture. Ye must, the book of Malachi said, you must bring ye all your tithe and your offering into the storehouse that they may be meeting out. You got to bring it. You can't send it. You can't process through no app. You got to come. But if your leader wants you to bless him, he's asking you to bless him through a cash app, then you cash app your leader and bless them. But you have to bring your tithes and offering into the church. You cannot cash app that. I don't care how much technology we got now. You got to bring it because he wants you to walk in his house with it in your hand. So all you that done cash app, you in trouble with God. The Lord understands. He knows my heart. No. He gave you instruction. It's like you tell me to go to your house, stick the key in the front door and go in your house into the living room, sit down and wait for you. I go through your back door and through your garage and break in. How would you feel? You gave me specifically instructions on how to go in your house and then go in there and sit down and wait for you. But I went everywhere, all over what you told me to do. You'll be angry. Same thing with God. He's giving us instructions on how to do it. The 9th verse, 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy works. But the 7th day is the Sabbath day of the holy Lord thou God. In it thou shalt not do any work. Shall not do any work. That's the book now. Thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy. In other words, you can't even have guests over there in your house working on the Sabbath day. You can't do it. David said, as for me and my house, we gonna serve the Lord. So no excuses. You can't follow the Joneses and think you're gonna go with God. You won't make it. You can't be keeping up with the Joneses. You better be keeping up with God, baby. You better be keeping up with the Son, Jesus Christ. That's the only way you're gonna make it. Now, we're at the 11th verse, and then I'm going to get ready to get off, and we're going to pick back up. I want to get down to the 17th, but we're going to make it part 2. We're going to add this to part 3 when it come back up on next Friday. For the 11th verse say, for in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea and all that in them is, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. In other words, he took all your work that you did on the 6th day and blessed it on the 7th day, that it may return to you in folds. Not 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean in folds. It's going to come back to you. It's going to come back to your children. Come back to your great-grandchildren. It's going to come back to your cattle. It's going to come back to your land. It's going to come back to anything that you are attached to. It's going to be a blessing, not a curse. Or not just sitting there as an idol. Because we got things in our life just sitting there as idol. They're sitting there like idols. They're not reproducing. They're just there. And we're going to pick back up off of that next week. The things that are sitting in our life that are idle, not blessing and not cursing us. Just sitting there. What to do with that? All right, that's my time. That's my time. I got to get out of here. We had some technical issues. But next Friday, hopefully we won't have none. We're going to go deeper than this. I hope you enjoy. But we're just getting to the top part of while we're reaping. We're going to get to the soul of this thing. I want to get down so we can learn, so we can stop reaping what we're reaping. And it can be stopped. All right, God bless you till next time. I see you. Stay faithful, stay true to it. All right.